Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of the Educational Numismatist. In this video, I'm going to pick up where I left off on my last video. We have 20 silver dollars, 20 Morgan dollars, all raw, came out of two half rolls that I had purchased and unrolled on another previous video. So I've now rated all of these coins with a green, a yellow, or a red sticker, depending on whether or not I feel they are worthy of considering for grading. Now, just because I have rated it worth consideration doesn't mean that I'm actually going to submit it. But it is a coin that, in my opinion, is one that is above average and might be worthy of consideration. So let's go through them again real quick. This is an 81S that I originally rated a 64 possibly, but as I look at it, it may not rate quite that high. It might end up being more of a 62, 63, something in that range. The next one up is an 1880S. Now, when you look at a coin like this and you see that little groove on the cheek there, which is highly unfortunate, you have to consider how that will affect the grade. So when I'm in a situation like this and I'm torn, because otherwise that is a nice looking coin that's got a decent strike all the way around. The reverse is relatively clean, no real major impact marks or scuffs. There is that one above the motto and one to the right of the wing and another one to the left of the wing, but otherwise not a bad looking coin. So what do we do with a groove like that on the cheek? How bad would they grade off for that? Well, what I do is I go out again to the PCGS website and I go to the photo grade section where you can select each denomination. In this case, we're going to select dollars, and these are Morgan dollars. So we can then go through and select, for instance, a mint state 63. What does a mint state 63 look like? Well, notice that we've got issues on the cheek. We've got issues on the neck, we've got scratches, we've got scuff marks, we've got abrasions, pretty much all over this coin. And again, they graded this one mint state 63. So you have to consider that even though this coin has that unfortunate groove, how far off would they grade it? Well, I would probably estimate this one at a 62, 63. So I'm going to hit this one with a 62 question mark. Please comment. Let me know if you agree with that grade, or if not, what you think that coin should grade or might grade. We're trying to estimate. When we're done with all of these coins, we will go through the pricing exercise and determine what a coin in each given grade would approximately be worth, and then whether or not it's actually worth submitting to grade. So this is another 1880S that has another decent strike and doesn't have quite the issues on the cheek that the other one did, but it does have this little black smudge mark right there on her neck. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't go below the surface. It's just a surface stain. And she does have a couple of issues on the cheek, but not too bad. And the reverse of this coin is gorgeous, once again, with another very nice strike from San Francisco. Little bit of abrasions, but nothing serious. So I would probably estimate this one at about a 63. Again, please comment. This is coin number 3. Comment in the comments what you think that grade should be for coin number 3. All right. Get back in there. Okay, coin number 4 is an 1882 O. And that has a pretty nice looking strike for New Orleans. They're known to be weak, but that one's a fairly good strike for New Orleans. And I don't see any major issues. Typical abrasions, bag marks, contact marks, those don't really count that much against the grade unless they're really significant. And I don't see anything significant there. The reverse, another very nice New Orleans strike with very few abrasions, actually. Just a couple here and there, but nothing too significant. All right, especially considering that's a New Orleans strike, I'm going to estimate that one at about a 64. And please chime in the comments. Let me know if you agree. This is coin number 4. Now, before I go any further, let me also say that by no means do I hold myself out to be an expert. I'm not saying that, my estimate of grades is definitive or that that's what it's going to come back at. That's why I'm doing this. This is an interactive exercise between me and all of my viewers, trying to determine whether or not we think these coins are worth grading. So the first thing is you got to estimate what you think the grade is. So that's what we're doing now. So coin number 5 is another 82O. That one also has a pretty decent strike, but this one doesn't quite have the same appeal the last one did. And it's got a little bit of issues going on the cheek and the jaw. What does the reverse look like? A little bit of spotting or whatever that is down there. A couple of cuts and scratches up here. So the more I look at this coin, especially compared to the last one, I'm going to change my mind on this one. And I am going to take off the green sticker because I am no longer convinced that one is worthy of submission. I think that was one that's going to sell tomorrow in my whatnot auction. All right, coin number 6 is an 1882 San Francisco with, again, a couple of unfortunate impact marks on the cheek, on the jaw, on the chin, on her neck, behind the head. But that is a really nice strike, and that's typical for San Francisco. They generally get good, strong strikes in San Francisco, where you get the nice weak strikes out of New Orleans more often than not. All right, the reverse of this coin is much better than the obverse. So, given what's going on the obverse here, I would probably classify that one as a 61, maybe a 62. So I'm going to call that one a 62. Again, chime in the comments whether or not for coin number 6 you agree that might be a 62. And if not, what you think it should be or would be. All right, coin number 7. We've got another 82S with a little bit of a weaker strike, but not a terrible strike. Not a whole lot of problems going on the obverse. The cheek is fairly clean. The fields are very clean. The neck has a little bit of a scuff mark, a little bit in front of her eyes there and in front of her nose. Otherwise, that's not a bad looking coin. The reverse, Wow, another really pretty looking coin. All right, so my estimation on this one, I'm probably going to call that a 63, 64 maybe. Coin number 8. Now, I've already got this one with a red spot on it, so this is going to go for my auction tomorrow. And this one has a little bit of toning on it, but a typical very weak New Orleans strike. And it's got some scuffs and marks on the cheek, the jaw, front of her eye. And the reverse, not terrible, but I just don't know that this is one I would want to submit. 83 New Orleans is one of the more common dates. I would probably call this one 61. So, if it hits a 61, it really is not that valuable a coin and doesn't really justify the cost to grade it, which is why I already hit that one with a red. Now, this is another 83.0. This is coin number 9. Now, on this one, you'll notice that is a much better strike, although still weak. A little bit of color starting to happen, a nice little golden tone beginning to come in. And no real bad marks or abrasions. Nothing that really even breaks the surface from what I can see so far. Oh, there we go. We got a little bit right there on her cheek. But overall, that's not really bad. And again, just to give you a reference, here's another 63. And look at everything that's going on with that coin. So if that's a 63... that's got to be at least that, I would think. But we'll see. And then there's the reverse. Again, a little bit of contact mark going on to the right of the eagle, but otherwise not anything really significant. A little bit of a one to the left wing, a little bit before the arrows. But overall, that's a pretty nice coin. So I'm going to estimate that one at a 63, just because. Chime in the comments. That's coin number 9. Do you agree that could be a 63? If not, please let me know what you think it should be. All right, coin number 10 is an 84.0. And this one also is a typical New Orleans strike. Not the worst I've seen. We do have some impact marks on the cheek, the jawline, and general abrasions, contact marks. That's typical, so that doesn't really bother me. The reverse, not a bad looking New Orleans strike, actually. I would probably estimate this one at a 62. So that's coin number 10. Chime in the comments. Do you agree that could be a 62? Or what do you think it should be? Coin 11 is an 85 Philly. Decent strike. Little bit of contact marks, little bit of scuffing, a little bit of something there behind her neck. But otherwise, not bad at all. Reverse has that one little skittish mark right there. And another one to the left of the eagle wing with what looks like the beginnings of some burlap sack toning from that pattern. So that's actually kind of cool. So I would probably estimate that one at a 62, maybe a 63 given the strike. I'm going to be conservative. I'll call that one a 62. Hit me up in the chat and the comments. Let me know if you agree. Coin 12 is another 85 Philly. Actually looks a little bit better than the last one. The fields are remarkably clean. Look at that. All right, I'm not seeing very much in the way of imperfections. There's a little bit of rubbing on the cheek, but nothing that goes below the surface. And that is very, very important, because if it doesn't go below the surface, they really don't penalize you too much for that. And then the reverse has that beautiful crescent toning going on. That is amazing. Nice little eagle detail. All right, I'm probably going to call that a 63 to be conservative. What do you think about coin number 12? Let me know in the comments. Is that a 63? Number 13, I am on the fence. That's why there is a yellow sticker there. For an 85-0, that one has a reasonably good strike, actually. I don't know what that black spot is. And you do have some more black spots on her chin and her neck and in front of her face. But otherwise, there's really nothing seriously wrong with that coin. A little bit of a dig in her cheek right there. All right, and it's that scratching below that probably is why I gave it a yellow. The reverse has a little bit of something right there. And yeah, I am not convinced that is a coin to grade. I would probably guess that one is about a 61. So that's coin number, excuse me, that's coin number 13. Let me know if you agree that that might be a 61. And again, that's not an extremely, rare date. All right, so for this 86p, number 14, I've already got this one tagged as a red. And the reason is we've got a bunch of dings and scuffs and stuff going on. Again, not that this wouldn't still be a nice uncirculated coin with some value. I just don't believe this particular coin would be worth enough to justify the cost of grading because of what's going on right there. And we got a little bit more going on the reverse with, some unfortunate contact marks. Now, again, just for reference, that's a 63. Okay? So the fact that, you've got a little bit of stuff going on, that doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't hit a 63. I would conservatively estimate this one at probably a 62. But again, because it's a more common date, I'm not sure it would justify the expense of paying to have it graded. All right, then we've got an 87p, number 15. I've also got this one as a yellow. And that is because that's a little bit of a weak strike for Philly. And we've got a little bit of abrasions and some contact marks that I'm just not real happy with. Those are not serious, but they are prominent enough that they catch your attention, and I am afraid that would prevent a real high grade. So again, on a relatively common date, I don't see justifying paying to get this one graded. Now, that's not to say this isn't a $70, $75 coin. I just don't think if I pay $28 to grade it, it's going to be worth $120 or $125. So that's number 15. Let me know if you agree with my assessment. Number 16, we've got an 89 Philly, which I've already designated red. Because once again, that is a really weak strike. And we've got pretty obvious stuff going on the cheek. We've got an impact right there by her jawline. We've got, unfortunately, a few things going on there, but I think the biggest drawback on this coin is the weak strike. But otherwise, it is a very nice looking coin. So again, that doesn't mean this isn't a $70, $75 coin. It just means I don't think it would be worth paying to have this coin professionally graded, because I don't think that it would obtain a grade high enough to justify what you might end up with. I'm going to call this one a 61. And again, that's number 16. Let me know in the comments whether you agree. All right, number 17. We've got an 89 Philly with some beautiful golden toning going on around the rim. A reasonably good strike. Not seeing a lot in the way of marks that go below the surface. We do have several contact marks, but they don't break the surface of the coin, which is very important for the grading services because they don't consider that to be a significant flaw. On the reverse, we've got another little trace of toning going on along the rim. A reasonably good strike on the breast feathers. A little bit of impacts here and there, but nothing serious. I'm going to estimate this one conservatively at a 63. Please chime in the comments. Number 17, do you agree or disagree? Number 18, I'm on the fence. We've got yellow. This is an 02 New Orleans. So you got a very typical weak strike for New Orleans. Plus, you've got this little milk spot thing down here. I don't know what that is. But otherwise, you don't see anything real, real significant on the obverse. I'm not seeing a lot on the reverse that gives me great pause. But again, as a relatively common date, with that little splotch and such a weak strike, I'm going to estimate that one at probably a 60. And would love to know what you all think in the comments for number 18. All right, 19, we've got another 020 with also some nice little color to it, getting some very nice golden tone to it. Now that strike is much better than the one we just saw. We do have a little bit of scuffing, but again, it doesn't break the surface of the coin in any way. That is really a nice clean looking obverse right there. So yeah, there is really nothing to detract from the surfaces on that one. On the reverse, again, you've got pretty good detail in the eagle feathers. That's not a bad strike at all for New Orleans. And I'm not seeing anything really bad in the way of abrasions or scuff marks. All right, I got to say, I'm going to be conservative, and I'm going to hit that one with a 63, but that could well go higher. All right, that's 19. Do you agree with a 63? And then last, but not least, we've got an 040 that I am a little on the fence about because I'm just not sure about this coin. It's not a horrible strike for New Orleans, but it's just got a color to it that I can't say is really all that pleasing. I mean, it does still have mint luster. You know, you do still get some cartwheeling going on, but I'm just not in love with the tone of that color. And then on the reverse, you've got a very weak eagle strike. You've got an even weaker mint mark. I mean, it was like almost, I had to literally get the loop out to see it, and I'll show you, but there is actually, come on, there you go. There is actually an O mint mark there. Okay, but it's rather hard to see. It is not, again, it is not a good, strong strike from New Orleans. So given all of that, given the color, I'm just on the fence about that one. I would probably call that one a 60. And I just don't know that would justify grading. So that's number 20. Hit me in the comments. Let me know if you agree. So that is all 20 coins. I have now put an estimated grade on them. What I am going to do is I will make another video where I am going to take you through each coin, and we will make a determination whether or not, based on the estimated grade and what the estimated values are in the price guide, whether or not it seems like it would be worthwhile to grade that coin or not. So thank you all for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video. And this is the Educational Numismatist signing out until next time.